We're going to have today's class about systems of equations. And now it's going to be the third part of this series of classes. And in this part, we're going to talk about what happens when you have a number that multiplies also the x over here. And everything else is going to be staying pretty much the same. So we're going to do pretty much the same procedure, and the only thing that's going to be changing is that now you're going to have to be able to divide what you have on this side once you clear for the x. So here is all the procedure. Here it is. It's well, we're going to do the following. The first thing you need to do is you take this equation and then you clear for 3x. And then for 3x, what are you going to have? You see that you have a negative 6y. So you got to add 6y here. And you also add 6y on this side to cancel the negative 6y. And that's going to give us negative 36 plus 6y. And that's going to be that first part. Now, what's going to be next? Well, we still have a 3 next to the x. So what's going to be next? I got to divide this part by 3. And also this thing by 3. So I'm going to change colors right now, and it's going to be this. Alright, so I'm going to divide this one by 3 and this one also by 3 in order for me to cancel this 3 over here. And what I have to do is divide each of the terms, so it's going to be 36 divided by 3 gives us 12. And then 6 divided by 3 gives us the 2 that we have right there. Now all of this is going to be the value of x. So then I gotta go into my second equation, which is this one, and where I see the x, I gotta change it for what the x now means. Then x means this during this part of the procedure, and it's going to be, instead of the x, I'm going to place there the negative 12 plus the 2y. Now what's going to be next? Well, I gotta multiply this term and also this term by the 5. Then we're going to get 5 times negative 12 gives us this negative 60, and then 5 times 2y gives us 10y. Now this 10y and this 3y, you put them together and you get 13y. That's going to be the next step. And then what's going to be next? Well, you just simplified the y's, but you still have some terms that, well, they're not y's. And those terms that are not y's, you got to pass them to the other side by doing addition on both sides so that we can cancel that 60. I'm going to add a 60 also over here so I can cancel that negative 60. So then this thing is going to be canceling out, and I'm just going to get the 13y. And then the 122 plus the 60 now is going to be 182. And then what's going to be next? Well, the same as before. You got a 13 multiplying the y. Oops. Okay, hold a second. 13 multiplying the y. So what's going to be next? I got to divide both parts by 13. And something like this. There you go. Alrighty. And then you divide 13 by 13. That cancels out. And then 182 dividing by 13 gives us the 14. Now what's going to be next? I got the y, but I need to get also the x. So I'm going to write x equals negative 12 plus the 2 times the 14, which is this. And what do we get? It's going to be, well, we got to first, I just substituted this value into this part of the equation because we now know how much y is, and now we can get the value of x. Then this is going to give us 2 times 14, that will be 28. That's what you got right there. And then this is negative 12. Now negative 12 plus 24, how much is that going to be? Well, that is going to be 16. right? Uh, yep, it's gonna be 16. 28 minus 12. 8 minus 2 is 6, and then 2 minus 1, that's just 1. There you go. So we get our two results. Okay, let's do another example. Let's say that we have this problem. 8x minus 16y equals 32. So maybe you could clear for y, but until now we have just been doing the x, and later on you're going to be able to choose which variable you want to start with, or maybe even which equation. You can start also clearing this equation, but it depends on which one is easier to clear for. So until now, everything is going to be starting with the x. So all the examples that I'm giving you, and also the examples or the problems that you will be seeing in your exercises, are going to be better if you just start by clearing this x instead of the other y. Okay, so I'm going to start to clear the x. This 16y that is negative, I don't want it there, so I'm going to pass it to the other side, and I'm going to do that by doing an addition of 16y here and an addition of 16y on this side in order for this term to get cancelled, and I get my 16y on the right side. Then I still have that 8 multiplying the x, and I don't want it there. So I'm going to divide this by 8, and then I'm going to divide all of this also by 8. That is an 8. Okay, so 32 divided by 8 gives us 4, and then 16 divided by 8 gives us 2. And this is going to be my equation for x that I'm going to use on the next step. Okay, on the next step we have an x, and there I'm going to be changing that x for the value that I know that x is going to be having, which in this step until now it's going to be just 4 plus 2y. And I'm going to substitute that result over here. There it is. And then the 5 you multiply it by this guy and then by this other guy, just as we did before. 5 times 4, that's 20. And then you do 5 times 10, that's going to be 10. 5 times 2 is going to be 10. Now we gotta simplify the y's. I got 10y and I got 3y right there. I can only add the y's with the y's, not with anything else. So then I'm going to get 10 plus 3, 13. That's what I have right there. That's how it's simplified, the 10 with the 3. And then the 20, here it is. Now that 20 I don't want it there, so I'm going to subtract the 20 from this side and also from this side. And that is going to give us 33 minus 20. That will be 13. Now we got a 13 on the right as well. It's going to be pretty easy because all we have to do is just divide by 13, and 13 divided by 1, that will be 1. Now we're going to take this equation in order for us to get the x. So then, alright, so I have 2 times 1, there's a 4. Wherever I see the y, I'm going to change it for this value of y. So it's going to be 1 instead of the y. I'm going to put a 1 there. 2 times 1, pretty easy, it's just 2. And then 2 plus 4, that will be 6. So we got this value for x, and we got this value for y. So that means that we're done. And that's pretty much it, guys. So if you have any questions, you can um, look for me on the Zoom sessions or in the email, however you prefer. Alrighty, guys, you have a great day.